everybody, and welcome to Rise and Grind. Coffee Traveler here with 4 more articles. One of them caught my eye. This is like an interesting title. Let me drop this in the Twitch chat first, because that's what we always do. Twitch chat gets everything before YouTube does, basically. And it says, missing blob of water predicted to be in the Atlantic Ocean finally found. Isn't the Atlantic Ocean a blob of water? I'm so confused. This is from livescience.com. The newly discovered water mass called the Atlantic Equatorial Water stretches from Brazil to West Africa. Isn't that just the Atlantic? Ooh, Zelenskyy 7 streak. Easy clap. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Hopefully your wife and you are doing the best. Yeah, so I'm very confused by this article. I'm so confused. Let's dive in, literally. Ha! I do have a dive emote as well. Feel free to throw those in the chat. Scientists have discovered a previously undetected water mass in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. You mean landmass? I'm so confused. My brain can't handle it. A gigantic body of water stretching across the Atlantic from the tip of Brazil to the Gulf of Guinea near West Africa. The water mass, named Atlantic Equatorial Water, forms along the equator as ocean currents mix separate bodies of water into the north and south. So this is like where the waters meet and mix from north and south, because also the waters move differently in the northern and southern hemisphere, if I remember correctly. Okay, baby. You just got food. Like, I don't know what's up. Sorry for the interruptions. Until the Atlantic Equatorial Waters discovery, scientists had spotted waters mixing along the equator in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, but never at the Atlantic. Oh. Come here, kitty. Do you need some snuggles? Maybe it's just snuggle time. So this is like, okay, that's what they should lead with. Like, they should lead with that we know that waters mix in, you know, these two places, but we don't know how they mix in the Atlantic. So we have a special guest here. This is Susie, Tuxedo Kitty. She suns herself in the summer. I don't know if YouTube has seen Susie before, but YouTube, say hi. Twitch chat knows. So that's what they should lead with. Okay, so they have discovered the exact point where in the Atlantic that the waters mix from north to south. Let's see here. Hi. Hey, baby. It seems controversial that the equatorial water mass is presented in the Pacific and Indian Oceans, but was missing in the Atlantic Ocean because the equatorial circulation and mixing of all 3 oceans have common features. The identified new water mass has allowed us to complete the phenomenological pattern of basic water masses of the world ocean. Oh, okay. So we're learning new things all the time, and this is we had a missing puzzle piece. It's okay to have missing puzzle pieces in theories, but now this really cements like how water works. As much as we think we know, we don't know anything, like nothing. Feel free to read more about this, but that's like an interesting discovery to me. I thought we knew how like all of the waters of the ocean worked, and this was a great clickbait title because it got me to clickbait. Missing blob of water. That's not really the best title that you can give to actually tell the story of what you're about to talk about, but it is a great clickbait. So I got the clicks on this and sharing it with you all. If you'd like to read more, there's some more to the article. Find the link in the YouTube description below. For the next one, this is one of the interesting things that caught my eye. Finland closes all Russian border checkpoints except least accessible one. As things are ramping up in Ukraine and Russia, we have not read much news on this, but it's good to hear that Finland is potentially protecting themselves, and I wanted to see what they were doing and how they were doing it. Yes, thank you, Kitty. That's very helpful. That's very helpful. Thank you. Digs all claws in to climb up on me. I am the perch now. So, the Finland government has decided to close 7 checkpoints on its border. Okay, so it has 8 checkpoints on the border, based on what I'm understanding of this article so far. with Russia in response to the growing migration pressure and Russian border guards' involvement in it, leaving only the most remote checkpoint open. In accordance with the Finnish government's decision, 3 more border crossing checkpoints will be closed on the land border between Finland and Russia on the night of 24th to the 25th of November. Will only be 1 crossing to the Finnish-Russian border where asylum seekers will be able to apply for international protection. I think this is to just be able to put all resources in one spot as well, too. This border point is the most difficult for Russians to reach and is open for only 4 hours a day. Background. Last Thursday, Finland decided to close 4 border crossings due to a surge of illegal migration. They have been closed to traffic since Saturday. The decision to close 7 more checkpoints on the 25th. There's a little more to this article, but it was interesting because now, like, I can understand how many checkpoints a border has. We can understand how Finland is approaching the situation with Russia and Ukraine. I thought it was an interesting read. Feel free to click, and again, it's down in the description below. How's our special guest doing? You doing okay over here? You destroying my shirt with your claws? Thank you. Appreciate that. Next up, something about kids. Copy, paste in Twitch chat. Boom. This is from AAAS.org. Look like Family Guy's Peter Griffin. Thank you. I don't think they had a cat, though. I think they had a dog, so I don't look a lot like that. But, you know, babies' brains are primed for their native language before birth. I thought this was an interesting read as we are evolving and learning how language works, and it sounds like babies in utero pick up language. Yeah, thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Human babies pick up language at an exceptional pace during their first year of life, but it has been mostly a mystery whether exposure to language before birth primes their brains to acquire a specific language. Now, new research from Science Advantages suggests that newborn babies' brainwaves are in tune with the language they are exposed to most often in utero. That is an incredible discovery because everyone's like, oh, babies like don't learn anything or whatever. No, they're constantly learning and constantly picking things up, even in utero. So everything you do for your kid's life matters as soon at conception. Like, that is incredibly compelling. That exposure to language is important. These results provide the most compelling evidence to date that language experience already shapes the functional organization of the infant brain even before birth, the authors wrote. Although most newborns are considered universal listeners, equipped to learn any possible human language, by their first birthday, babies' brains become specialized for the sounds of their native language. While this year is pivotal for language development, research suggests that prenatal experience may also help lay the groundwork for auditory and speech perception. That is incredible. That the in utero can change this. So Ning in chat, please keep your comments to what we're working on here, and we can talk about other things in between. We're doing a segment called Rise and Grind, and we are talking about this particular article. If you'd like to be involved, feel free. If you'd like to come back another time, that's also great. Yeah, this is an incredible thought that, like, oh, you know, in uteros, like, doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal. Oh, it's a huge deal. Is what this is coming forward and showing us. This type of thing that, like, at conception or even in utero, like, everything you do for your kid is important. The article continues, between 5 and 7 months of gestation, a fetus can begin to hear sounds outside of the womb. Sweet. Just days after birth, infants have shown that they prefer their mother's voice and native language. Newborns can also recognize rhythms and melodies heard in utero, and prenatal exposure to music may help them develop musical abilities. But it's unclear whether the same can be said for language. So music and language, very important. This is laying the groundwork for other studies This article goes on. Feel free to click the link in Twitch chat or in the YouTube link below. We'll go on to the next one, as I'm just going to plow through these. Today, we will do more in depth when I'm feeling better, but this is what we are doing today. One of the things we haven't talked about much, at least in my lifetime, we haven't heard much about it in the last, I haven't, 10 years, is the ozone layer. So this article that I found was ozone hole largest on record over past 3 years, new research finds. This is alarming. Haven't heard much about this. Thought it was like mostly repaired or on its mend, but in the 90s it was like, oh man, ozone layer depleting. We have to ban like a lot of chemicals and other things. So see what they have to say. This is from Business Insider India. Contrary to public perception, that Antarctic ozone hole has been amongst the largest on record over the past 3 years, new research has found. The ozone hole above Antarctica has been remarkably massive and long-lived over the past 4 years. Woo. And chlorofluorocarbons are not the only things to blame. This is the CFCs that I was talking about that have been banned in the past. That researchers in their study published in the journal Nature Communications. CFCs are greenhouse gases containing carbon, hydrogen, and chlorine and fluorine, and have been studied to contribute to ozone depletion. The ozone layers at the Earth's atmosphere blocks harmful ultraviolet radiation from the sun to protect people from skin. It does more than that, but yeah, that is the main driver. As if we lose our shell, protective shielding from the sun, not good. According to the study's lead author, Hannah, PhD candidate at University of Otago, New Zealand, the team found less ozone in the center of the hole compared to 19 years ago. This means the hole is not only larger in that area, but also deeper throughout most of spring. The team analyzed the monthly and daily ozone changes at different altitudes and latitudes within the Antarctic ozone hole from 2004 to 2022 for 18 years of study that they found. We made connections between this drop in ozone and changes in the air that is arriving into the polar vortex above Antarctica. This reveals the recent large ozone holes may not be caused by CFCs. Well, we have to ban other chemicals and other things. I would not be surprised. This article goes on to discuss more of the role that is played here, but if you would like to read more, that link will be available in Twitch chat and in YouTube. But as for me, I'm out of coffee over here. I drank a bunch of it earlier, didn't drink a lot of it on stream, but with that said, out of coffee, out of articles, that's been Rise and Grind, and we'll see you next time.